Okay, so you had 5 questions yesterday after the video that you watched that you needed to answer in your notebook. Your answers and length should be very similar to mine. So the first question asked about your siblings and if you had any siblings and how you were like or different, or no, actually how you were different from them was the first question. So you needed to answer in complete sentences and in complete thoughts too, because sometimes to get your thought across, it takes more than one sentence. So here is my answer. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. Well, I put brothers, it should be just 1 brother. I have dark hair and brown eyes. One of my sisters is very similar to me, but one of my sisters and my brother both have blue eyes and blonde hair. The number 2 is how we're similar. Some of the ways that we look similar are our height, because all my siblings are pretty much around the same height. My brother's a little bit taller, but not much. And our body shape, we're all tall and very slender. That means we're pretty thin shaped. And we all have long legs, like really long legs compared to the rest of our body. All right, then the third one was about the bunnies who have the same parents and how can they look different if they have the same parents. Well, bunnies who have the same parents but look different may have some traits from the mom and some from the dad. Most of the bunnies have traits from both parents. So for me and my sister with the dark hair and dark eyes, we get more traits from our father. And then my one sister and my brother, they're both blonde hair and blue eyes. They get those traits from my mom. All right. The number 4 was about monkeys and what traits do they have that are all similar. All monkeys have long tails that help them hang from trees. They have 2 eyes, fur, and opposable thumbs to help them grab things. Like we have opposable thumb. That means that we can do this with it. We can grab it. Like, so we can grab things. If it was just out like this and we could just use these fingers, we couldn't grab anything from it with it. That way, if you can do this, the opposable thumb that turns in like that, pivots in, that's opposable thumbs. Okay, then how are all the monkeys, how can they be different within one group? The monkeys in a group may have different color fur and eye color, and the size of their teeth and shape of their noses and chins may be different too. So you have been working on answering complete sentences with Miss Rumley and making sure that what you're thinking in your head is on the piece of paper and it makes sense. So when you guys write out answers like this, as you go through them, you need to read them out loud to yourself to make sure that they make sense. Because if you're reading it out loud and it's not making sense to you, it definitely is not going to make sense to anybody else who's reading it. So it's nice if you get your work done. But if someone comes along, a stranger from the street comes along and reads it and they can have no clue what you're talking about, then it's not done very well. So make sure your answers are very similar to mine. Now, mine about my siblings are going to be different than yours. And if you don't have any siblings, then these ones might be blank. You might be going to number 3. So, but number 3, 4, and 5 should be pretty close to the same answers because we use the video to help us. All right, so make sure you check your work and make corrections.